So, quick disclaimers. You might see me drinking or sipping my wine, even though this is a tarot video. I never do readings that have been purchased, intoxicated, under the influence, like none of that. If you buy a reading from me, I'm completely sober and level-headed because I don't play with my money like that. I'm not gonna play with your money like that. This reading is more casual than anything, not as formal, because I just decided to do this kind of on a whim, and I was on Twitter with it. It got no interaction on Twitter. And I'll be honest with you, I was a little bit salty at first, but then I had to remind myself, like, you don't do this for popularity, you don't do this for clout, so what would you be in your feelings about? But I think that it just frustrated me more than anything, because if I say something about a free reading where I can answer all your questions, you would jump on it. And then when I take the time to provide a reading, you know, for free without it being prompted or something like that, just because it's not you as an individual or someone as an individual, like, it gets a lot less engagement or interaction. So I was frustrated, but I decided to bring it here because it still might help someone out, and you know, this is a bigger platform than Twitter. So what I did was I pulled 3 different cards, and you know, as I was meditating on what I wanted the guidance to be, I intended to pull 3 different cards with 3 different messages, or you know, 3 different scenarios of advice. Like, does that make any sense? I pulled these 3 different cards, and they were supposed to be 3 individual cards. As I looked at it and went further into what I was doing, I realized, like, because Spirit's funny like that, like, oh, these cards actually relate and go together, and this is one big message that was broken up into 3 smaller parts so that it was easier to understand. So I'm going to be sharing those with you today. But I do want y'all to know that there are about 3 videos that I've tried to record and upload. It just didn't work for whatever reason. One video, my camera died. One video was way too long, and all that other good stuff. But if you're here now, you're getting a free reading out of it. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, share. And if you want to book a personal tarot reading, email is below, social media links below. Hit me up on one of those and we'll get rocking. The first card that I pulled was the Death card. And my eczema is acting up really bad, and so if you see that, ignore it. This is the Death card. It's the very first card that I pulled. This is the card, if you've ever seen Carmen, and I know you've seen Carmen if you're a member of the Beehive, Beyonce. Carmen, there was a tarot session. They pulled the Death card, and it was predicting that Beyonce or Carmen was gonna die, and she ended up dying in the movie. So that's the card that literally, in my experience, have turned everybody off of tarot. Like, I don't want to be told this, I don't want to be told that. Listen, baby, I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not reading your future. I'm a spiritual guidance provider, right? I don't know if you're going to get married. I don't know if you're going to have any babies. I don't know that about myself, okay? Manifest it up for you. That's all I can tell you. Anyway, the Death card. The Death card is supposed to not put you in the mindset of being fearful or being anxious, but in the sense of death, when a person dies, many religions have the common denominator of believing that that person's soul continues on, goes on to something new, a new realm. Maybe you're reincarnated into a new person, being, figure. Death in a tarot sense is not supposed to make you fearful. And I think that the reason that we fear death is because we're human and it's so final. And so we're like, oh my gosh, like, we don't know what happened to our great aunt Margaret when she passed away. We don't know what happened to so-and-so's spirit because they weren't living right. Like, we don't know. And I think that the unknown is where you get your fear from. But in the tarot sense, when you pull the death card, it is literally asking you, what is in your life that has tried to remove itself over and over? Or what is in your life that's no longer serving you? And we hear that so often, but let's now take the time to admit to ourselves that we will know that something has expired, something's no longer serving us, something's not benefiting us, it's sucking the life out of us, and we keep it around. We keep it around. Because I offer personal tarot readings, it's really frustrating, annoying, and off-putting when I have clients who, don't get offended because I'm not talking about one specific person. This happens very often. I'll have clients who want a reading. And let's say, for example, I hate my job. I want a new job. Can you do a reading on it? Yes, I can. A month later, you're still at the same job. You haven't filled out any applications. You haven't changed your perspective. You haven't changed your own, what you put out. You come back to me. You pay me for another reading about this exact same job. So many people do that, and I just want you to know it's not like, it doesn't put a smile on my face to take your money. It doesn't. Because when people come to me for readings on the same thing over and over and over, all that lets me know is that you did not listen to me the first time. And tarot doesn't pay any bills over here. It doesn't. I charge at the very most $25 per session. That's my Celtic cross spread. That's 10 cards. Tarot ain't paying no bills. What am I gonna pay with $25? Nothing. I don't do it for the money. The only reason I charge is because you do have to pay me for my time, because I do have 2 jobs and I do work 6 days a week. But no, I do not get a kick out of you all putting money in my pocket just to hear the same thing over and over and over again. It's not cool. It's not fun. What is being pulled from you that you refuse to let go of? Do you have a boo that's not treating you right? Do you have a boo that cheats on you, that hits you, that calls you a bitch? Like, there are so many times that we stay in so many situations way too long, trying to prove ourselves. It'll get better. He'll change. She'll change. She'll be different. She's getting better. I can tell. People do change, but very rarely will someone change for a person while still being with that person. Because if this change wasn't made prior to y'all committing to each other, they are comfortable with what they are. And the issue is that when you think about people do what you let them, that's very true. Not let them in the sense of, well, I got on him about that. I told her about that. I put her in the doghouse for a little while. No. Let them, because you're still there. You're still there. When someone does something, if you forgive them for it, unfortunately, in their eyes, that's permission. Unfortunately, in their eyes, that's permission. Oftentimes. So, outside of a relationship sense, let's think about it in the fact of employment, homes, friends, social media even. Some of you have been saying to yourselves, well, I'm about to delete this. I get nothing out of it. And you still spend time on it. You still spend time doing it. Whatever in your life seems to be pulling away from you, let it go. Whomever in your life seems to be pulling away from you, let them go. You are stressing yourself out for no reason. Let it go. Let it go. Like, this is my face for real when I do readings that say he's abusive, he's a cheater, she had a baby on you, she's using you for money, and y'all stay. You cannot be that scared of solitude that you are dealing with this crap. You cannot be that scared to spend some time by yourself that you are dealing with this crap. And if you are, that is sad. That is sad. When you tell yourself, I'm staying for the kids. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. Because if you're not safe with him, the kids aren't safe with him. When you tell yourself, I'm staying because he'll get better. No, he's not. No, he's not, because it's been 4, 5, 6 years and he's still doing the same shit. At that point, he like, this bitch ain't going nowhere. Excuse my language, but that's really what it is. That's what it is. And if somebody got that in their head, why would they get better for you? You ain't going nowhere. Remember, they're not like, more often than not, the answer is to leave. More often than not, the answer is to leave. The alternative to that is spend money on therapy and actually do the work that your therapist recommends, because there's really no difference other than formal education and credentials in a tarot reader and a therapist. Don't keep doing yourself like that. Don't keep doing yourself like that. It is a pain in my... Don't keep doing yourself like that. The second card that I got was the Ace of Cups. This card speaks to emotions. Cups speak to your emotions, your feelings, what you have to offer, opportunities. With this being an ace, definitely your emotional offerings are increasing. So I get the Ace of Cups a lot of the times when it's like, oh, you know, a new relationship for you is about to form, or your new perspective will balance your emotions much more than they have been in the past, or now that you have done self-care and poured back into yourself, you can pour into someone else. You can give back to somebody else. But this is, again, all about emotion and acknowledging your emotion to the extent that it brings you peace, it brings you clarity, it brings you stability. So many of us have so much mental noise on the horizon, and we need to do away with that. So many of us have so many emotions that have not been processed, and one of those emotions, more commonly than anything, is grief. A lot of us will lose a loved one, hit the ground running, go to work. We go to the funeral and go right back to work. Did you get to grieve that person? Like, you might have cried once or twice, but did you get to grieve that person? So many of us will leave a relationship, end our, commitment with a romantic partner, and then decide, like, I'm just gonna get under A to get over B. Do what you want to do. I'm all for it. However, don't attempt to make that your long-term fix, because the issue is, what's going to happen is, while you continue to suppress your emotions over and over and over and over, you'll never really deal with it, and it'll hinder you. A lot of us think we could just put that off to the side, put that off to the side. It'll hinder you. It always does. It always does. It has nowhere to go if you don't express it. So this, to me, means to take care of yourself emotionally and spiritually, because the two are hand in hand. Your emotional self will not be healthy if your spiritual self is not healthy, and vice versa. Take care of your emotions and feel them and process them. Allow yourself to be angry. Allow yourself to feel pain and hurt. Allow yourself grief, and don't ask yourself, or don't tell yourself, I don't have a right to feel this way. It's what you feel like. It's what you feel like, and you have a right to feel however you feel. Don't feel guilty about your feelings. Don't feel ashamed about your feelings, embarrassed about your feelings, because first of all, you don't have to share them with anybody. You just need to share them with yourself. I'm manifesting a house. You just need to admit your feelings to yourself. You need to share them with yourself, but what would you be ashamed about? It's you. You know you, right? You're all you got. You don't have to tell anybody, but you need to acknowledge all of your feelings, admit all of your feelings, process all of your feelings, because if you don't, it comes back to bite. The third card that I got is the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is a card of anxiety, depression, torment, hopelessness, exhaustion, irritability. The Nine of Swords, the first question I ask the people when I get that card is like, are you having trouble sleeping? And some of them say yes, some of them say no, but my dreams have been off the wall. The Nine of Swords points to your underlying mental noise, right? Like what's up there that is now bothering you to the point where you're disturbed, where you're anxious, you're distracted, like at work just daydreaming about the worst, at work can't focus, out with friends that everybody's kiki and laughing, and you snap back and you're like, what's everybody laughing at? I missed the joke. Like, because you're so distracted with the weight on your shoulders. Well, what is that weight? What is that weight? That is what you have to do away with to move on to more emotional grounding and stability and peace. So again, these were supposed to be 3 separate cards for, you know, different circumstances or whatever, but they do all go hand in hand. So with the Death card, kick it out of your life. Whatever is there that don't need to be there, kick it out. Let that person go. It's a person. And then I know that y'all have caught on by now, most people that you had something with that leave your life end up back. They end up back. They always do, male or female. Or seahorse. I don't know how you get down. They come back. They come back. So don't stress it. Let them go, because they are not meant for your season right now. The season that you're approaching, they, him, her, it, that job, it's not meant for what you're walking into. And the issue is, because y'all hear people say that all the time, they just weren't meant to come up there with you. That is very true. But if you keep dragging and you refuse to let them go, either you're going to be snatched away from them in a way that is much more painful than the original way would have been, or you get to keep them and you lose out on that. And that happens. That happens. So many people miss out on amazing things because they refuse to let go of stuff. You, like, it don't all fit. It doesn't. We're supposed to grow. We're supposed to change. We're supposed to learn. Get out of whatever you're in that you know for a fact you're not supposed to be in. And again, like, the faces I'm making, the demeanor with which I'm speaking is because it is sincerely annoying. The self-sabotage that people do. I don't let people overstay their welcome in my life anymore, because I've done that for so long, so many times. I have friends that have dragged me through the mud, disrespected the crap out of me. I have had romantic partners that I literally knew for a fact. I would hear spirit so loud in the back of my head, like, that is not yours, that's not for you, you're much better than that. I don't think I'm better than anybody, but there is a such thing as dating your equal. And for some reason, I have a bad habit of liking guys that are not my equal. And I don't know why that is, and that is something that I'm still reflecting on. But don't do stuff like that to yourself. It is literally self-sabotage. Now, when you kick this person, this thing, whatever, out of your life, you're gonna be sad about it. And there might be some people in your life that are celebratory about it. I'm so glad you finally kicked them to the curb. I'm so glad you left that stupid job. And you like, okay, but he was paying my phone bill, or this stupid job like gave me the schedule I needed to do what I need to do. That's fine. That's fine. Growth requires discomfort. It is a literal requirement. It is a requirement. You don't grow comfortably. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. If we were able to stay comfortable throughout every situation, circumstance that we went through, no changes would ever be made. That much is a 100% fact. And we have to acknowledge that for ourselves. Take this discomfort Feel whatever it causes you to feel, and then move on. Move on. You've been down before, right? You've been down before. Everybody watching this is old enough to operate a computer of some kind. You've been sad before, right? And then you were happy after that at some point. It's a cycle. And now, if you refuse to grow, you refuse to allow this discomfort, you refuse to temporarily be inconvenienced for long-term gain, this will be you. If you're in a situation where you're waiting on it to get better and you know in the back of your head it won't, but you're still there, the nicer way of saying you have nobody to blame but yourself is refer to your accountability. How much are you allowing? How much permission are you giving? There comes a point as a tarot reader where we just have to tell you that you are your own biggest problem. And I have to tell myself this all the time. I don't want anybody to feel that I'm trying to portray that I'm perfect. I'm a hot mess like the rest of you. But where I differ from a lot of people is that I reflect, I take accountability, and I tell myself, like, you played a part in that. You know, that wouldn't have happened if you didn't allow XYZ. And no, I'm not saying beat yourself up. I'm not saying beat yourself up, because you're all you got. Like I said, don't beat yourself up, but admit to yourself, I allowed this, and that is why it is as bad as it is, and I have to do something about it. Once we start having those honest conversations with ourselves, we'll be in much better standing. We'll be in a much better light. But the key advice to take from this, whatever it's time to let go of, let it go. Leave that fear alone and let it go. Because with death always comes newness. It always comes rebirth. It always comes something better. Feel what you're gonna feel. Don't try to block out those emotions. Don't try to suppress those emotions. Don't try to act like they're not there. Feel whatever you feel. Go through confusion, grief, anger, hurt, sadness. Go through it. It might not even be a person that you have to let go, but something needs to be let go of, and you're gonna feel some feelings about it. Go through it. Don't try to act like it's not there. Go through it. Because if you don't, it won't benefit you. It never does. And you know that already. You know that already, because you've been sticking with this old situation, and you've been suppressing your feelings. You've been ignoring your intuition. Your intuition might be telling you, we got to get up out of here. And you like, I got another good 3 weeks out of this. No. Listen to and acknowledge all of your feelings regarding your circumstances and your situation, because if you don't, it will come back to bite. And it won't be at a convenient time. It won't be at a convenient time. There's that. Anybody can request a reading. I offer readings of all types. If it's not a spread that I'm already familiar with, then I'll do my research. And if I'm comfortable with the spread I found, then I'll go ahead and do it for you. I have a couple videos, like I said, that I tried to upload. There's one where I was making ramen and the camera died. I'm gonna see. We'll see. If I have some content that can be put together and shared with you, then I will, because I know I'm not on here nearly enough. I know that. But like I said, I have 2 jobs. I work 6 days a week. I didn't always have 2 jobs, but I have always tried to work 6 days a week, because I haven't always had 2 jobs. Whatever. Follow me on Instagram. Toodaloo. Cut that person off.